Hi, and welcome to another edition of Steve's Backyard Bonsai. This is a Cotoneaster. I may have introduced you to her briefly. She's a disaster. She's an octopus. I don't know what to do with her. But I'm going to give it a try. I'd like to give it a little bit more height. So I think that there is trunk below. Let's try and find out. First I'll get a close-up of this and give you a 360 of what we have. If you can see what's going on here, it's got a nice trunk with some nice taper. It divides, and I could choose one direction or the other. I could make a windswept thing out of this, but I don't want to make any choices up here until I know what's going on down here. Oh, I'm seeing a branch coming up from below with some life on it, a new branch. It'll be interesting to see what's happening. Well, let me get it out of this pot. Okay, let's see what we've got here. We've got roots. Look a little bit active down here at the bottom, but that's about it right here. So let's start combing this out and really see what we have. Okay, starting at the top, I'm just breaking it away from the trunk. Mostly just letting it fall away. Gently using my Canishin round tine root rake. It still sometimes feels like it's tearing, and I very, very often prefer just going in with a chopstick. It's going to take a while. So what do you say we go into time lapse? I'll stop if there's anything I really want to focus on, or I think we should. Okay, I've got it pretty well cleaned out. I didn't wash it. I'm not going to wash it. I don't know how delicate these roots are. I haven't seen much in the way of any damage that I caused. But let me get a little closer. I think I can pick up a little bit more trunk if I can take away some of these surface roots. This was buried that far. You're not seeing that. This was buried to here before, just below this. I saw this little branch coming up, and I thought I might do something with that, but I'm not going to. I don't know what a front would be, but look, there's a lot more trunk here. This could look like a mother-daughter, father-son, father-daughter, and mother-son. I'm going to get started on the pruning, and I'll talk you through it as I'm making decisions. Okay, right here, that we do not need. Here's one growing up, right at a nice flare point, that we don't need. Where's this one coming from? I'll cut this root short and then see where it starts. That's where it ends. Some more high roots we just need to take off. There's a, I don't know if this will work in the composition, but there is an aerial root coming off of this branch. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not gonna make a decision on that just yet. Let me trim off the major excess, and some of these tangles will also go away when I do that. A lot of the tangles were below that. Yeah, this is excellent. I think the timing is right for the pruning of this Cotoneaster. I had brought it to my club, the Eastern Suffolk Bonsai Society Club, the last meeting, or second to the last meeting, and was discouraged from looking at the roots at that meeting. It was not the right time of year. I think that was a great decision. Thank you, club member. And once again, the idea is to expose more trunk. Well, it is two trees. I'm going to keep them as two trees. I'm not going to try and separate them. Although, I don't know, two windswepts going in the same direction sounds. Okay. Can I do this gently? I don't think I damaged anything. That seems a little exciting to me. instead of one going off in the other direction, this one wants to be planted. This one wants to be planted that way, leaning that way. Or does it? I've got a nice radial root there, but it might be a little bit too high. I better keep these roots from drying out. You know what, I'm going to clean up this dirt and come back. If this were planted on an angle like this, and I want this to be wind blown in this direction, lots of stuff has to come off of this. Don't worry, I will be seeing if these root. Okay, so what could logically be going in that direction? I could force this one to go. This one I don't think wants to go. So I'm going to get rid of that branch and I'm going to shorten this, leaving a little stub. I don't know how this stuff reacts. But if I don't get rid of this stuff now, I won't even be able to set it in the pot the way I envision it. So, could this be part of a windblown? Does it look funny if it were? It crosses in front of the trunk. So, I'm saying no. I want to lose this whole branch. Oh. These, no. Am I confident that what I'm doing is good? No. All right, I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff that's close to the center so it doesn't interfere with the design and enhances the windblown look. I've got a branch dividing over here, but they're both going in the right direction. Maybe I just need to correct them a little bit. Tighten this somehow. Bring this around. It interferes with this, and this is coming off in a strange place, so I'm going to get rid of that little branch. Now, these ones headed up, they're not going to work. This is actively coming out of dormancy right about now. There are little tiny buds swelling. This guy, I don't want that either. I'll clean that up once I see how this reacts. All right, so I'm going to plant this on an angle like that. And I have another tree that also lends itself to being windblown with a few corrections. So, thinking windblown, I'm no longer thinking I want aerial roots. Now that goes away. Thinking windblown, this is headed back in the wrong direction. All of this is wrong. And this one is headed up in the wrong direction. I think this branch is a lot dead, but there's some life coming up down there. All right, so let's see if these two trees can just basically be positioned to represent the start of a windblown composition. Yeah, I think so. All right, let me prepare the pot and I'll be right back. All right, let's get the base layer of soil in the pot. I put a single window screen at the bottom. That's sufficient. These have 3 small holes. A little bit of organic matter there. That doesn't matter. I just don't want it under the screen. All right. So, you know what? I am going to set up a pedestal to get this all higher up so I can see it at a better level. Be right back. This will be a lot easier on my back. Okay. Windswept. Leaning this way. The main tree leaning this way. Can I be happy with that? I think I can. This root may have to go, and it does. Doesn't leave me much on that side. It's all about taking chances, right? Okay, let me put a little soil around that. Try and secure it. And I'm using the trusted Nigel Saunders method that I try to use and sometimes screw up. But that method would be to lift up as I'm doing this so that the roots face downward. Such a simple and smart thing to do. Okay, see if I can secure this a little better. at that planting angle.
Susan Diana Nair, FaceTime video.
There's enough roots to hold this. Just want to establish this wind-blown effect. There's another high root here that I think needs to come off. 3 of them. All right, so that's the start. Now, where do I want to put the sister plant, the brother plant, the other plant? Okay. You know, so many adjustments are going to need to be made. I'm not sure it matters all that much right now, other than, you know, getting it planted up, getting the angle set, and then going into refinement. This composition is going to need muck. I want something to keep those roots down. I want to hold in a lot of water. So I got to prepare myself for that. Meaning I want to mix up some muck with a little bit more sphagnum moss like I did last time. I think that worked out fine. Now, I really have no idea about a final composition here. All I know is maybe I want to get something going in a windswept pattern. All right, I got some muck mixed up. I got the muck right here. His name is Paul Revere. Name that tune. I'm doing this for a number of reasons. One is that there are surface roots here that I'm a little worried about. They're kind of migrating up. I want to give them something to go into. Another thing is this is really going to give stability to the trees that are not wired in. So think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing that Luca thinks these are something to eat when the little pieces fall on the floor. Once again, I mixed more sphagnum moss in with this to retain as much water as possible. I'll monitor how well water is percolating. If this indeed is halting that in any way, I'll try and intervene. I'm really loving this. So this is like the topsoil where I live. It's right on top of the rocks. Somehow water gets down there. What do you think? Should I plant that moss on this too? Why not? Why not? Once this gets established and I feel comfortable that it's established in this pot, I'll wire up these branches or give them a little bit different direction. I don't want to do anything more right now with this other than keep it alive. Oh, Luca. All right, let me sprinkle a little bit of moss, some Candace fairy dust on top of that. Oh, you're so pitiful. Whoa, Luca, stop. It's 15 minutes before you normally eat. Can you please wait? How about if I give you a dried banana? You want that? You stop whining? Please? He's hungry. Okay, that's enough grated Parmesan. I want to spray the camera. Maybe a little more Parmesan, huh? What do you think, Luca? A little crushed red pepper. Yeah. All right. And And that's all for today. My Cotoneaster is still kind of a disaster, but I think on its way to something different, something better. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for keeping me company in my backyard.